Welcome to DDO Players News, where we talk about the latest news from DDO and the world of tabletop. I am your host, Draculetta. I am sans Pineleaf tonight because I had a scheduling conflict and couldn't record the show till later. And as we all know, Pineleaf can't stay up past 10 o'clock. So it's true.
It's a mandate.
It really is true. So
the fines are big.
I'm not sure. I don't think we would want to find out. See, he's kind of like the Hulk. You know how the Hulk, you wouldn't like him when he's angry? Pineleaf, you wouldn't like him after he stays up after 10 o'clock, I think.
Oh.
Gremlin. He's a gremlin.
Yeah. Don't feed him after midnight. Don't make him stay up after 10 o'clock. Those are the rules if you want to have Pineleaf on your show. So I sent up the Drac signal, and lo and behold, Mythery and Lessa heeded the call.
The Drac signal.
You like that?
What's that
the Drac
look like?
signal?
Is it like a vampire? Is it like the Count?
A couple of
Silhouette?
fangs.
Yeah, it's like, a silhouette of the Count with a bat behind him and,
Okay,
yeah.
that's good. I like it.
Great. So let's get it. We actually have some game news, sort of, kind of. Have you been monitoring this craziness that's going on in the forums right now? Cordovan, in his infinite wisdom, I'm not sure why he did this, to be totally honest with you, on his weekly Wednesday live stream last week, decided to give a sneak peek of what the Players Council is working on currently, and that is some changes to Turn Undead and the Cleric domains that have been promised forever. So he did this on his live stream, and then probably, I'm going to say, 10 seconds after the live stream ended, people lost their freaking minds.
Yeah, I was going to say, people lost their minds.
Forums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. What?
Oh my God, it's crazy. People are going just crazy over this. So what they're planning on doing, of course, this is all subject to change because this is just in the early stages. This basically is the Players Council is looking at this right now. So this is not even on Lamania, not even on a test server. Well, it might be on an internal server, but so what they're thinking of doing with Turn Undead is the DC is going to be 10 plus your charisma modifier, plus your cleric level, plus your paladin level, plus your turning bonus. And then
Wow. Not that.
Not that, right. Which means that I could probably actually turn some undead.
Yeah, I could, as a paladin, I bet you I could work with that.
That sounds like fun. So people don't like that.
People don't like that. It's
too much
why
fun.
Why don't people like that? Yeah, they hate fun.
Bad. Fun bad.
Sucks.
That's right. Fun is horrible. And Gumskank says in the chat, see, this is why we can't have nice things. So much for getting early looks again. And then also on this Turn Undead, if the saving throw is failed, 1d4 plus 4 positive energy damage, plus cleric, plus paladin level, and the undead are stunned for 10 seconds.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you were the only one. Oh my God. People are
People don't like it? Because now they have to actually fight the undead? Is that it? Or
Yeah, I think so. And then plus, this is, from what I gathered from going through one of the about a billion forum posts on this, a lot of people have been using Turn Undead in the new raid, which I don't think is working as intended. I'm kind of guessing those skeletons in the new raid, they're the skeletons that I actually haven't done the raid, but I know I've read about it and I've watched people on Twitch do the raid. You have to do the puzzle, and as you're doing the puzzle, there's skeletons that come in and they like screw with you. Well, people are using Turn Undead to stop those skeletons from screwing with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking people are thinking now they're not going to be able to do that, so they're basically whining. Sorry, I'm just going to say it.
Figure out something else.
Yeah, I was gonna say you just do something else. Something else will work.
And then of course,
no, this one quest is gonna be ruined.
exactly, it's going to be doom. And then for I don't know, as long as I played the game, which is been, I don't know, 3.5 years, 4 years, maybe something like that. People have been complaining, oh, Turn Undead sucks. Turn Undead is worthless. Well, now,
yeah, so if you're using it, I mean, why?
now,
If it's so bad, why are you complaining about
It's really cool when it works, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now they're proposing these changes. Oh, Turn Undead's the greatest thing ever. Don't touch my Turn Undead. So, oh my God, I'm reading these threads and I'm like, I cannot believe what I'm reading. What you people, make up your mind. Is it good or does it suck? I mean, come on. So yeah. So I guess I'm just seriously, I cannot believe the amount of whining that.
Remember when we switched over from the horse and buggy to the car? That was scary, right?
It was
you guys
rough.
remember that?
Yeah.
One. So quiet. I'm kidding. Seriously.
So I don't know. Like I said, I don't play a cleric or a paladin. I know Lessa would probably be the one to speak of this. But does this sound so bad to you as a paladin?
No. I used to mess around with turning undead as a paladin just because if they don't, I never make anything as a paladin, but sometimes you make them stunned for a little while, and it's kind of fun to hit things that hit you back.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just don't. I stopped doing it because hitting things is also fun. So I just don't see how this is going to affect me.
I don't either. Like I said, I don't know.
It affects me in a good way. So have at it.
So I guess it'll be interesting to see what actually becomes of this because, like I said, there was just a blank storm on the forum over this, and there still is, and this is going on past a week now that this little preview was put up. So I don't know. So I guess it'll be interesting to see A, what happens with this, B, if they change it once they make it actually go officially public, because as I said, this was just like a little sneak peek Cordovan did on his stream. So we actually haven't got anything official on what they're going to do or planning to do. So all this whining that people did could be for nothing because they could change all this. Or maybe this is just a giant troll and they were never planning to do this anyway.
Or maybe it was testing the waters and see what people would do.
It might
People
be.
are crazy. There you go.
I could have told him that.
Yeah, people are going to go crazy because that is what happened.
Oh,
Sorry.
you know, I love the DDO community. I really do. But people on the forum.
Sometimes the tinfoil hats get whipped out pretty quickly.
Exactly. It's like if you're on the forum and you're ready to make a post, stop and think about what you're going to post. And just think, do I really want to post this? Do I really want to post this?
Boom!
Oh, my God. So then, of course, we got a unofficial sneak peek of the cleric domains, which have been talked about for quite a while. There are going to be several different domains. The air domain, animal domain, chaos domain, death domain, destruction, earth, fire, good, healing, knowledge, law, luck, magic, protection, strength, sun, trickery, war, and water. And of course, each one of these will have their specific special things about them. For example, I'm not going to go through all this because this list is huge. There'll be a link in the show notes to where you can actually go and read all these. But for example, if you do the air domain, your turn undead will now work on elementals.
Wow.
Which that's kind of cool, huh? Yeah. And then animal domain.
You mean the turn undead that no longer works?
Yeah. The turn undead you nerfed is going to work on elementals. And then that same nerf is going to work on animals if you choose the animal domain.
Where are you going to turn animals back to?
Mind blown. You know, and then there is, let me see if I can find it. There's one thing people are really losing their mind about. Oh, here it is. If you choose the Earth domain at level 14, you're going to gain Earthquake as an SLA. People are like, well, if you're going to do that, why did you bother playing Druid anymore then? Because Druids get that and the clerics are going to get it for free as an SLA.
Okay.
Seriously, I really
if
need to
you
stay up.
if you want to have a get ahead at the end of the night, go to the and see all the different arguments. Isn't it great that everybody's so passionate? Okay.
Yes, and here's one for you, Myth. If you choose the fire domain, you'll get Wall of Fire and Firestorm as an SLA.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Gums Gang just said my little impression there sounded exactly like the DDO forums. I was practicing that all day. Oh, God, I think I just alienated half of the forums now. They're never going to listen to the show again. Going to have, like, no listeners at all anymore. I'm sorry, people. I'm just speaking the truth. Just speaking the truth, people.
No, they can listen just so they can yell at you.
Yeah, that's true.
How are they going to know if you're talking about them if they don't listen?
Right.
Very true. So, yeah, anyway, I don't know. I don't understand why people are losing their mind about this. The domains look kind of cool to me, especially, of course, the death domain. I don't have a cleric, but I might actually roll the cleric if this death domain comes. So all these look good. They all have their positives and then their negatives to them. You gain some stuff. You might lose some stuff. So I don't know. Just chill out.
Really interesting.
Yeah, it does. And I'm just happy to see domains finally come because that's just a integral part of pen and paper, in my opinion, is the cleric domains. So I think it's about time we get them in DDO. So I guess stay tuned and we'll see what happens with this because of all the whining and complaining. So we'll see if they change any of this or if they just take it all away forever. I guess we'll find out. Anything else you guys want to say about the crazy
craziness? No.
We got the craziness in the forums? Okay. We'll go on to happier things, and that is the DDO Chronicle. It is issue number 237. Community Spotlights. The Munchkin Summer Games have begun, so if you are of the short stature, you might want to check that out and see how you can partake in the Munchkin Summer Games. We also have our official screenshot of the week, which is EMF poses with his maker in our 318th DDO screenshot of the week, and that is from Propane. And that looks like a war, and I'm assuming that is from the Titan raid. I don't know, or is that from? Are you guys looking at the screenshot? I'm not sure where the screenshot's from. It's basically a Warforged standing in front of a Warforged.
I don't see it.
It's in. Are you in the Chronicle? Yep.
Patrick puts a screenshot in the show notes.
Oh. Well, gee, I should. Well, let me cut and paste this. Just
you
hold on.
Met Mythery?
I forgot center of the universe and all that.
You have never
There you go. See, are you happy now?
At all.
The screenshot is in the show notes now.
Thank you.
See, you're very welcome. So, does anybody have any clue where that's from? It's a cool screenshot, but I have no idea where that's from.
Don't know. It's cool.
And of course, in the Fansite News section, DDO Cast has tips and advice for leading a guild in their latest episode. The Damsels of DDO got Black and Blue in their latest show. So I'm assuming you did the Black and Blue quest. I haven't actually. Did you? Yeah. I haven't actually watched that show yet, so I'm slacking.
Won't be able to watch it. I mean, what? Sorry. Go ahead. No, don't ask. Don't ask.
I mean, who's not on the official YouTube channel anymore? I mean, what?
I mean, what? We must have done something.
And of course, we have our Chronicle comment of the week. What new difficulty needs to be implemented in DDO?
What?
How many more difficult?
How many? What do you? I mean, how much more difficult can it be?
That's what I'm saying. Why do we need a new difficulty level?
We don't.
You already brought Reaper in.
Your difficulty level auto fail. You go in and you immediately lose.
And then instead of having a button of winning, we can have a button of losing. You lose. I like that answer. That's great. The auto failed level. I like that. Gums Gang saying, yeah, you need a level where you just start as a soul stone. Oh, so that is it for our Chronicle this week. We will move on to our store sales, where we have 20% off the Mirrors of Glamoring, bypass timers, cosmetic outfits, and hats and helmets, all at 20% off in our DDO store. And we also have the free sample of the week through June 8th. That is the Big B's Orange Guiding Hand. You'll get 5 hands when you use the coupon code GRABBY, GRABBY. That's a great code. And you get that is 1 use per account. So choose your server wisely, but you will get 5 orange guiding hands. And go ahead.
I was just going to say, I still think that most of the cosmetic outfits are too expensive.
They are, even when they're on sale. I think they're too expensive. I have bought a few when they're on sale, but not many because it's just like, geez, I'm not going to spend this much on this stuff. Sorry.
There's a couple that are like down to $350, but most of them are still around $650 on sale, and that's too much.
I know. Now, see, $350 is not bad.
Right.
But of course, it's probably none of the ones I want because there is a few.
Right.
I keep looking at them, and I'm like, do I want to spend that? No, I'm not going to spend that much.
$650 is too much, and on sale, so that means they're $7 something full price, and that's way too much.
Heck yeah, that's way too much. So we are going to move on to our site news, and I just want to say thank you once again to everybody that donated for our GoFundMe that we had up for the video camera. We did hit the goal. We actually surpassed the goal, and as promised, I'm going to quickly thank everybody that donated because I said I would do this. This will only take a few moments, so here we go. Anonymous, XP Quest, Bernard, Michael, Troy, Phil, Judy, Gary, Ninth Mon, Carlo, Anonymous, and Anonymous.
All those anonymouses were me. You're welcome.
Oh, well, thank you. No, see, I know you're lying because I actually see the names.
Oh, okay, fine.
No, I just busted you in your lie.
You're a dirty, dirty liar.
You liar, dirty liar. But no, seriously, thanks everybody that did donate. It was awesome. And I'm going to order the camera pack and everything tomorrow because I'm finally going to get the last payment from GoFundMe. And we did just barely have enough because I kind of made a critical error when I set this GoFundMe up and I did the goal. I forgot that GoFundMe charges a fee for all of the donations that you get. So we were about short with that fee, but we did manage to just squeak out enough. So I could get the exact camera and the pack and everything I wanted. So I think our Gen Con coverage is going to be a lot better this year because we're going to have a much better camera with an external mic, which is what we needed. And look for some more tabletop gameplay and unboxing videos. Those will be better as well. So just seriously, thank you to anybody that did donate to our GoFundMe. I appreciate it a lot.
Well, they charge like a percentage.
Yeah, you get like a percent, and then you also get a set cent off for every donation as well. So GoFundMe's making a lot of money.
Wow, it'd be better just to be GoFundMe.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I read that and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll just like add this into the goal, and then I was researching the cameras and everything that we needed, and I'm like, okay, I need $400
Right.
to get the pack I need, and then I was like, oh crap, I forgot about those fees. But yeah, it all worked out. Then we will move on and see what is coming to us from the dungeon this week. And we have been talking about the Stream of Annihilation was coming out from Wizards of the Coast, and that is when they were going to talk about what the new storyline is for 5th edition, and we now know it is entitled The Tomb of Annihilation. And the Tomb of Annihilation takes place in the jungles of Chult, and that is the region's last bastion of civilization. Chult is basically a giant jungle with lots of man-eating dinosaurs. So it's going to be awesome, and there seems to be something going on in Chult right now. The land is being plagued with undead. And also undead dinosaurs. What they did say is anybody that has ever, if your character in any 5e game you have ever played, if your character has died, if you set foot in Chult, you actually start to die again. So there is some curse that's going on. And it turns out a very famous lich has returned. And that lich, of course, is the lich from the Tomb of Horrors, Drac. So if anybody's familiar with the Tomb of Horrors module, you will know who Drac the Lich is. Well, he is back and apparently doing something to the dead and the people that were recently dead and raised. And I guess it's up to you to figure out what's going on and how to stop him. And to do that, you're going to have to face the Tomb of Annihilation, which just means instant death, probably, because they said it's going to be very, very nasty. And also, I did say there's going to be dinosaurs. There's also going to be undead dinosaurs. How freaking cool is that? And
I've never seen that undead dinosaur.
That's just awesome, isn't it? And then they also have a T-Rex that pukes, and when it pukes up zombies.
Oh my god.
That's even cooler, right? A zombie puking T-Rex dinosaur? I mean, come on. How cool is that? So yeah, once again, all we know so far is the new storyline is going to involve the Lich Drac, who is absorbing resurrection magic from the Forgotten Realms, and that's basically causing just a zombie apocalypse. And you can also race dinosaurs if you want to. And there are going to be NPC guides that you can hire that will take you through the jungle. And some of those may lead you astray. So they're not actually trying to help you. They're actually trying to take you into the jungle and get you killed. So you have to be very selective with the NPC that you pick. And there is also a new, quote unquote, they're calling it a meat grinder mode. It's basically Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition hard mode. What this is normally in 5th edition, if you're familiar with that, your death saves when you go down to 0 and you're starting to bleed out, you have to roll on a 20 and make death saves. You have to get a 10 or higher to make that save, and then you need three saves to actually bring yourself back up. With the meat grinder mode, your roll has to be a 15 or higher. So it kind of makes those a little harder. They're calling it meat grinder mode. And this is going to be available September 8th in your friendly local game stores. And then September 19th, as a wide release everywhere else. And Mike Merles did say that Chris Perkins pitched this to him in this way. Think Indiana Jones, meet zombies. Sounds awesome to me. I can't wait. So that's the new storyline for the edition is the Tomb of Annihilation. Doesn't that sound awesome? I mean, come on. A T-Rex that pukes zombies.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's original.
Can't get any cooler than that. And then also in November, we're going to get another book for 5th edition. That is Xanther's Guide to Everything. And this is going to be some new rules and new toys for Dungeon Masters to kill your players. Each class are going to get 3 different subclasses, and those were all the classes that have been tested this year in the Unearthed Arcana. So if you've been paying attention to that, they've been kind of giving you some new options for your classes. Well, it sounds like the ones that tested highest are going to make it actually in the book. You're going to get some new downtime rules, and Dungeon Masters are going to get quite a few things. One of those is going to be a new trap system where you can make complicated traps like the stuff from Indiana Jones. So that's going to give you just more things to create some crazy traps. So if you're into creating traps and trying to kill your players, like any good Dungeon Master should be, this book is going to be for you. That is Xanther's Guide to Everything. And if you are not familiar, well, you might be saying, who the heck is Xanther and why is he having a guide for everything? Xanther is a very ancient old beholder who is the head of a crime syndicate in the city of Skullport in the Forgotten Realms. And this beholder is a little different from other beholders because he has a pet goldfish. And he always tells all of his underlings that if that goldfish die, bad things will happen and he's not responsible. So everybody always protects this goldfish. I had some good times in pen and paper role-playing about that goldfish and trying to attack that goldfish, and then they behold her getting ticked off. So yeah, that's Xanther. He hasn't been around for a while, so it's kind of cool to see them digging way back in 5e history for that. So that is what we've got coming up from Wizards of the Coast. And finally, our last thing from the dungeon this week, we have Green Ronin, who is giving a little information about the Critical Role Tal'Doria campaign setting book that is going to be released at Gen Con. It's going to be a 144-page hardcover source book. Matt Mercer wrote it himself with some assistance, of course. It's going to have an MSRP of $34.95. It will be available August 17th at Gen Con 50, but they do note that it is not a Gen Con exclusive, so you will be able to pick it up if you can't make it to Gen Con. And they're also going to offer a special. If you pre-order it on the Green Ronin site, you can get the PDF of the book for only $5 more, but that is only if you pre-order on the site and not if you pre-order it anywhere else. And then you can also pre-order it on Green Ronin site and pick it up at Gen Con, which is kind of cool to save yourself some shipping money. So that is coming out, as I said, Gen Con 50, the Critical Role Tal'Doria campaign setting. And I know we talked about this. It's been a while since we talked about this. What this is, if you watch Critical Role, this is the world that Matt Mercer created. He is going to give you a source book to where you can play 5e in the Critical Role world that he created. He's going to give you character classes. You can do whatever they've done in Critical Role. You'll be able to do in your home games now because you're going to be able to have the official source book of Critical Role coming out at Gen Con. Do either you watch Critical Role? It is so awesome.
Yep.
Matt Mercer is like the greatest DM in the world.
Yep.
It's
My spouse watches Critical Role.
It's just awesome. So yes, you can pick up the Critical Role sourcebook at Gen Con. And then quickly we'll run and see what's on the tabletop. Not much this week. I think the biggest thing is during the stream of Annihilation, that's a hard word to say for some reason, Avalon Hill did announce they have a new board game coming out. And it is an update to Betrayal at House on the Hill. This time it is going to be Betrayal at Baldur's Gate. Taking the Betrayal at House on the Hill game, setting it into the Baldur's Gate realm in the Forgotten Realms. And the little elevator pitch they say about it is the shadow of Baal has come onto Baldur's Gate, summoning monsters and other horrors from the darkness. As you build and explore the iconic city's dark alleys and deadly catacombs, you must work with your fellow adventurers to survive the terrors that lie ahead. That is, until some horrific evil turns one or possibly more of your party against each other. Was it a Mind Flayer's sonic blast, or was it whisperings of a deranged ghost that caused your allies to turn traitor? You'll have no choice but to keep your enemies close. And of course, as I said, this is based on the award-winning Betrayal at House on the Hill board game, which is awesome. And this sounds like it's going to make it even cooler. It's going to feature 2 different haunt books with at least 50 haunts. And they did say more haunts will come. 42 tiles. It's going to be 13 building tiles, 14 street tiles, and 15 catacomb tiles. You want to say something, Myth?
No.
You didn't say anything.
I did. My God, I'm hearing things. I'm hearing the whispers. I'm turning traitor already. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And of course, this is going to feature all the classic monsters from DDO, like vampires, beholders, mind flayers, liches, all the cool stuff. So it's taken all the awesome things about Betrayal at House on the Hill and just setting it in a D&D themed game. Sounds amazing. It was designed by Mike Merles. So it's going to be awesome. And this is going to come out in October. So that is from Avalon Hill, Betrayal at Baldur's Gate. And the final thing we have on the tabletop is, I think, one of the coolest Kickstarters I ever got a press release on, and I had to post about this. It is entitled Unlabeled, the Blind Beer Tasting Game. This is for, yes, you heard me right. Just bear with me a second here. This is awesome. I kind of think, now, why didn't I think of to design a game like this? This is for 2+ players. And this is how you're going to play unlabeled. Each player is going to bring 1 or 2 beers to the game table. You can also play this at your favorite at your favorite bar. You're just going to ask them for a random flight of beer with the names concealed. So the game is played like this, 1 round at a time. With each round, one player is going to serve a small portion of their unlabeled beer. The other players are going to have to taste the beer, evaluate the game board, and then attempt to identify the characteristics. You're going to have to figure out the beer style or the specific type of beer. So do you think you know your beers? If you think you're a beer connoisseur, this is the game for you. Points are going to be awarded based on your accuracy to identify the unlabeled beers. Is it an ale or is it a lager? Is it a porter or is it a stout? Is it a oatmeal stout or an Irish stout? You have to get very, very specific because the more exact you get, the more points you're going to score. And then you're going to win. And if you try to push your luck too far by trying to get too specific on it, you might score 0. But how cool does this sound? I mean, come on. A game where you drink beer, and then that's basically the game is you're just drinking beer.
That's the game.
That's the best game ever. So this is up on Kickstarter. I'm telling you, this is the coolest game ever. It's up on Kickstarter now, and it is doing fairly well. It is almost at its goal. Currently, as we record this, it is at 5,107 of the $6,500 goal. So close.
That's pretty good.
So close. And you have 12 days from this recording. And this is actually not bad. It's $25 for you to get in. That's the cheapest way to get in on the Kickstarter. So that's actually not bad for a board game Kickstarter because they're more than that. So 25 is not bad at all.
That's
Cool.
All right, let's move in to our week in gaming, and I will turn the mic over to our guest. So I don't care, myth or less. Either one of you want to go first. It doesn't matter.
probably
You
just
don't-
go at the same time because
Yeah.
we did all our playing together. Mostly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
We
you can
started-
both go at once then.
We started playing Reaper mode, baby Reaper mode,
Yeah.
you know, and then
Really?
started in the harbor, and it has been a blast. I was not prepared. You know, people don't like change, but whenever you finally warm up to it and try it, it's fun.
It's so
I mean,
much fun.
It's like the same old quest that you're used to doing, only it's not, because there are all these new random elements, and you're not OP anymore. So it's like quests that we would just blow through. You know, we'd do the whole harbor maybe in one session. No, we did like, what we do, Myth? 4 quests?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even mind because I was having such a good time. And that's really what it boils down to is your investment versus the fun that you're having. So
We
Reaper
were
mode
like-
gets big thumbs up from me.
We had no
Yeah, we didn't know what we were
gear.
getting into. Yeah, Korthos gear going in there. We tried the butcher's path. We got the smack down
Oh, it ate our
So many
lunch.
times.
That just sounds terrifying to me.
It
That you're
was horrible.
so what like skull level are
Relearning
you doing?
old lessons and
Yes.
like clearing the shrine first
Yes.
and things
And
like
using we used every shrine.
that.
What's that all about?
So much fun.
It was great. It was great. I totally approve.
We're getting brave now, though. We're gonna.
Yeah,
we're
I
gonna
know.
do
Like
more
we're gonna
reapers.
we're gonna add a skull whenever we go to do catacombs because we're basically staying at the level cap, so
Okay.
we had to level. So now I think we're level 4, and we're gonna end up doing the catacombs with an additional skull to kind of balance things out a little bit more, so that it's challenging, but it's not so challenging that we can't finish it. Even though that was kind of fun. Sometimes you need to be humble, you know?
Yeah. It's hug a reaper. See
Yeah.
a reaper, don't run away. Run to it
Reaper,
and kill
hug
it
a
quick.
reaper. They need love.
Hug a reaper. I like it. So,
right.
so what made you guys decide to do this? I mean, it sounds awesome, and I applaud you for trying it. I'd be scared to death to try it.
We were scared to death.
As you well should be.
Let's see what happened. We were trying to, I had finally made level 30. Myth was waiting on me for the longest time. And then we said, okay, we're going back to level 1. And I said, this is my victory lap. I want to do everything on Elite from the ground up. And she agreed. And that's when Saba Jade, Instigator, comes in and says, you know what you guys ought to do? You ought to do everything on Reaper mode. And then, so we were like,
always,
so we were like basically shamed into it. So we were just like, oh, okay, fine, we'll try it. But you know what? Mikey likes it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's like a whole new game.
It's exactly, it's a game changer. It really refueled my passion for quests at the lower levels.
Yeah.
I've actually heard that from a couple people that have done Reaper because you kind of alluded to it earlier. They said you really have to relearn gameplay and think about what you're doing and think about your tactics.
You can't just run in and do whatever with whatever. You have to actually try. Oh my God! You mean I have to actually play this game? Stop!
You mean there's no easy win button? What?
You know what I remembered whenever we did that? I remembered that the game is freaking fun.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, SSG.
I'm usually so whiny and sad when I'm a baby sorcerer because
oh my God, and she was
anything.
Oh my God, you should have heard her at Korthos Island. I can't do anything. I don't have any good
awful.
skills. I'm a sorcerer. I can blah blah. I want to be powerful. And then finally we get into Reaper mode, and she shut up. She didn't say anything else.
I started to have fun. I was like, it was so much fun. I didn't care.
Yep, neither did I. It was just like, whatever. We're having a good time. Let's see. I think Myth's been playing sometimes with me, sometimes not with me. I have a personal 7 Days to Die game that I'm doing that has no zombies in it. And it's very cathartic.
There were zombies when I went there.
She turns them on just when she knows you're going to play.
Yeah, I guess.
That was whenever I made my base at the strip club. No, I started a different game because I wanted a random map. That was the standard map, and I knew where everything was, so I kind of got bored. So I was like, well, let me start a different game with a random map. And I made my home on an island. And yes, I'm on an island, and I made a bridge. I built a bridge to the island. That's all I've done so far. I haven't really had a lot of time, but it's kind of nice not to be in some place and be crafting and be, doing little things like cathartic things like chopping wood and stuff like that, and not have to worry about something coming up and hitting me on the back of the head like those nurses like to do.
Yeah, gonna say the hot nurse zombies that always do that to me. Yeah.
Let's see. I had a Fantasy Grounds session this past weekend that went really well. Our DM is a really good sport when it comes to me because every time we stay at an inn, I try to do things that I'm not supposed to do, right? So I run into these two guards, and they look just alike. Their icons look just alike. So I asked them if they were twins, right? I'm chatting them. I was chatting them up, and come to find out later, whenever we get shown to our room, the guard shows up, right? He's supposed to be quote quote guarding our room, but he showed up without his brother. So I was like, well, you are 50% less interesting. And after I got the information that I wanted from him, I just sort of slammed the door in his face. And then I turned around and the two tanks exchanged money over some sort of bet dealing with me and this guard. And they were like, friend zoned, told you.
He thought he had it made too.
Okay, that's awesome.
Sorry, maybe next time.
Oh, that's
and in
awesome.
my 7 Days to Die, I had told you, Drac, that I was going to go out into the desert and find us a place to mine oil shale.
Mm-hmm.
And I have actually done that. And I've only mined it one time. It took me forever to actually hit rock. It seemed like I dug sand forever. But I finally hit rock, and then I hit iron, and then I hit oil shale. And so I dug out there for a little while, and I built like a little concrete enclosure around the mouth of the mine so that nothing could get in there. And when I left there, I had almost 6,000 oil shell and probably like 8,000 iron. And I wasn't there that long. I haven't been back. We have to go and mine that place, make a real mine out of it. So it's
Yes,
just
Drac
barely
we
started.
do.
You give him
Just
a pick
barely.
and you'll never see him again. You'll get lost under the ground.
It's just barely started, so it's not even, you know.
I do, for some strange reason, like to dig very, very big, deep holes. I don't know why.
Something is so nice about mining. It's not the same as just going out and chopping up rocks. It's a completely different thing to go into the ground and mine.
See, I agree. See, Myth knows. See, Myth knows. It's awesome.
She understands you.
So yes, we are gonna have to go because I can't wait to check this mine out. So
It's so good.
we have to do that. That's gonna be so much fun.
And it's not too far away from the house, but it's safe. So if we want to stay out, we can because it's reinforced concrete all around it.
Awesome. Sounds like a great time. My weekend gaming wasn't much, actually. Real life keeps creeping up on me and, you know, kind of taking me away from all this cool, like, computer game playing thing that I like to enjoy. So one of these times I hope to actually be able to play some video games. So I didn't do any DDO at all. And I'm sure that shocks probably nobody. Because I haven't, I haven't done anything much lately. I did play 7 Days to Die a little bit, and that's on the multiplayer server that we're on. I basically started we moved into this army base, and I dug a really big hole, and I'm still digging really big holes. And I found a nice iron vein, so I got like tons of iron, and that's really all I've done in 7 Days to Die. I have a solo game that I've been neglecting forever. I need to hop back into there and see. I'm just getting ready for my first horde, so we'll see how that goes. I did move into I found a funeral home, which was awesome, and I think I talked about this before, but I still think it's awesome because my funeral home has like coffins in it, which is just awesome to me. So that is my base, is this funeral home, and I'm getting to do my first 7-day horde.
Is there a graveyard by it?
No, I was disappointed. I have yet to find a graveyard.
Oh, surprised. You would think there'd be a graveyard by a funeral.
You would think so. I was shocked that there wasn't. And elsewhere in gaming, I did play Black Desert Online a little bit more for my review, which is coming soon. And then I did play another game that I can't talk about yet because I'm under embargo, so they won't let me say the title of the game.
Trade embargo.
Yeah, exactly. So look for that review coming June 15th is when I can actually do the review and talk about the game I've been playing. But until then, you'll just have to wonder, what the heck is he playing? You can take bets and find out June 15th if you're right, because that's when the embargo lives, so I can talk about it. And really, that's it. That's all I did. It was just I just had a really bad week in my personal life. Real life is just, like, not kind to me lately. Maybe I'll catch a break sometimes and actually play some games. One can always hope.
Hope so.
Yeah.
We currently have 23 supporters over on our Patreon. If you would like to help support DDO players, simply go to the donations page on our website, and there you can find the link to our Patreon and help support us. You will find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, and you can even be a guest on an episode of DDO Players News. We had no iTunes reviews this week, but we would love for you to go over to iTunes and give us a review. Basically, what happens with iTunes is the more reviews you have, the higher you'll go in the iTunes algorithm. So if somebody goes on iTunes and search for DDO, we will show up higher in the results than another DDO podcast that doesn't have as many reviews, or just podcasts in general. Like if you type in tabletop gaming, we will show up on iTunes, but we're way down in the list. So if we get some more reviews, we'll start climbing higher. So it just kind of helps us on iTunes. And the reason why I kind of hype iTunes is I know a lot of people hate iTunes, which me included. I despise iTunes. But other podcast catchers, like on Android, like Pocket Cast, for example, they use the iTunes database to pull their podcast. So even if you don't use iTunes, you can still leave us a review over on iTunes, and it'll help us in other podcast catchers as well. We had no featured comments this week. We did have an email, but I'm going to save it for next week because it was basically directed at Pineleaf. So we will leave you in suspense for that email. If you'd like to send us an email, you can email us at podcast@ddoplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter. The Players Alliance, which is the network we are on, is at Players Ally. DDO Players at DDO Players. Myself, Draculetta at Draculetta_72. And you can follow Pineleaf at Pineleaf Needles. You can follow our guest. Lessa is at Lessa. And Mithery is at Mithery1. And also the damselsofddo.com is our website. And then you are also on the official Twitch channel. Tell everybody when you stream.
I'm waiting for Myth. She never does.
Every other Friday night, Saturday morning for our Twitch stream, and Saturday night, Sunday morning for our podcast. And this past week was an on, so next week is an off, and on, off.
So,
and that, of course, is the official DDO stream for the Friday, Saturday night, and then Saturday night, Sunday is on your Lesson 101 Twitch, right?
Right.
I will link those in the show notes. And remember, the Players Alliance has many different live shows throughout the week. On Mondays, normally at 8:30 p.m., you can catch the show right here, DDO Players News. On the first and third Fridays of every month at 11 p.m.-ish, you can check out XP Quest. Last Friday of every month is the Lotro Academy After School live show. And on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern is Lotro Players News. You can get to all those shows just by going to ddoplayers.com/live. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you too for joining me as well and helping me out with the show tonight so I didn't do a boring solo show. I contemplated doing the show by myself, and I'm like, that would be so boring just to hear me talk for 30 or 45 minutes. So
we thought you were mad. You're like, I gotta go to bed. We're like, oh my god, let's get on Skype right now.
Well, I actually do have to get up early, but yeah, as I kind of alluded to at the top of the show, I thought we had the little insider baseball for you here. I thought we had the show time set when we were going to start, but I forgot about the stupid time zone differences. So I said, we'll start at 10:30. Well, Lessa thought that was 10:30 her time.
Yeah.
I thought it was 10:30 lesson time, too.
Yeah. So then I'm like, no, it's 10:30 my time. So then I'm like, okay, that would be 11. It's like, oh my God.
I don't know why we didn't think it was time.
I don't know. I just, usually when I say a time, it's usually an Eastern.
I knew it wasn't 10:30 my time.
Right. Well, yeah. Yeah, because that would be like 3:30 my time.
Yeah,
right.
No, I'll be way in bed because I have to get up like early tomorrow. So no. So yes. But anyway, stupid time zones aside, we got the show done. But thanks for joining me. And thanks everybody in the chat room for sticking around with us. We had some people in the chat room. That is always awesome to have you join us live over at mixer.com/the Players Alliance. You can find that link, as I said, over on ddoplayers.com. So until next week, this is Draculetta saying, watch out for the zombie-spitting T-Rex dinosaurs.